When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof, like Aloe or Allbirds, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and great marketing. But an often overlooked secret is actually the businesses behind the business, making selling, and for shoppers, buying, simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. Nobody does online business better than Shopify. It's home of Shop Pay, the #1 checkout in the world. You can use it to boost conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going through to checkout. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/income, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/income to upgrade your selling today. That's shopify.com/income.
This episode of No Simple Road is brought to you by Shop Tour Bus.
Shop Tour Bus.
Shop Tour Bus.
Yeah.
Our friends over at Shop Tour Bus are donating 50% of the proceeds of their Speedy Arrow hat.
That's right.
To Hurricane Helene victims through the Red Cross this month. So head over to shoptourbus.com, order yourself a Speedy Arrow hat, and 50% of that money will go to help the folks that have been impacted by this horrifying event.
And while you're at it too, wearing that dope hat, you could get yourself, they have 3 new coffee mugs that are really cool.
Oh, those are dope.
Coffee and Shop Tour Bus.
The mug each other, the mug of rain, and the steal your tape mug. And they all have little sayings on them too.
I like that, the mug of rain.
Really cool.
Yes.
Like they mug each other. Yeah, man. And they come in a hand-designed box with, a bunch of extra cool shit on the inside. And
you can get free shipping when you put in the promo code No Simple Road at the checkout, and all that stuff in that cute box is going to come to you for free shipping.
When you put in the promo code No Simple Road.
No Simple Road.
All
and
one word.
Some of you are going to get a real Grateful Dead bootleg.
It's a miracle.
Yeah. So go over there to shoptourbus.com or follow them on Instagram at shoptourbus. And remember, 50% of the proceeds from the Speedy Arrow hats go to help Hurricane Helene victims this month. So go to shoptourbus.com.
No Simple Road. Yeah, here we go.
I know the road may seem to go on forever and a lifetime.
I think the dog likes to get high. I do.
think that you're wrong.
You do?
Yeah, absolutely.
I noticed it yesterday.
He
was
gets
a lot
angry.
I would side right in between you guys and say that he's kind of gotten used to it and likes it, but he's still like wary of it.
Yeah. Hey, No Simple Road family. This is Aaron.
It's Mel.
And it's Apple.
And this...
We're discussing Darwin's drug use.
Our dog.
Yeah, yes.
He does come over and nose you for a hit off
Okay,
a ball.
Wait, disclaimer, none of us are veterinarians or anything like that. Just pet owners, and we come up with our own things.
So recently, we put a little APB out last week, and we're like, hey, if you think about it, send Darwin some extra loving because he's going through a hard time. Well, he's getting older. He's got some bladder issues. He's been waking up multiple times at night, not allowing Aaron to sleep, all kinds of stuff. So we had the vet out last week, and because Darwin is Darwin, he does not let anyone touch him that he doesn't know. Period.
Yeah, we had to have the vet come to the house.
Even when it comes to like touching to trim his nails or do
Can't
anything medical, nobody can.
I can do like his eyes or his ears or, even like, pull something out his butt if he needs it. But if it comes to anything with like his nails, he's not having it. His mouth, he's not really having it.
Any kind of a tool.
Anything that vibrates or he freaks out. And Aaron and I knew that he was a nervous dog when we got him. He was like super destructive. He like broke our freaking blinds. He like trapped Simon when Simon would come home from school because like in the corner.
He was a thrasher.
He was pretty scary and
he's 120
crazy,
pounds.
anxiety ridden. Well, now it's been 9 years later that we've had Darwin, and he hasn't really grown out of his anxiety, but he grew out of all that extra, he's not breaking shit anymore. But we're having this conversation. Aaron's like, oh, I think he needs.
Well, wait. Let me back this up. Hang on.
I'll let you get in there.
The vet is comes out, can't touch him because they're afraid he's going to bite him. And the vet's like, we're going to give him some trazodone, and then we'll come back next week. And you give him this much the night before and this much the day of. Well, the first time we gave it to him, I noticed that Darwin was chill. He wasn't huffing and puffing. He was relaxed. He was just.
Well, I noticed. That's what Aaron notices. What I noticed is he was laid the fuck out.
He was high. He was first high.
He I sat next to him. His heart was beating so fast. He was, if my heart was like, I'd be like, I'm having an anxiety attack, the way that Darwin's was.
Yeah, he probably was.
So he had a little bit of a reaction, but later on, once the initial high kicked in and he got used to it, he was actually fine. But really, really, really dopey.
But yesterday I gave him just as more.
So so they were supposed to come back, and we had to repeat this process so that we could, be ready for this appointment. I got home from work and I'm like, Aaron,
Mel drives up the driveway.
Ready.
He pops up and he's like scratching at the door and let's go see mom. I'm like, I just gave this dude 300 milligrams of trazodone 2 hours earlier. And he's like ready to go for a run. I open the door. He bolts out the door and runs up to go meet Mel and is all dancing and happy. And
so I told Aaron, I was like, you need to call the vet and tell them that he's not ready to get no nails cut. He's not ready to get no blood drawn. No, he can't have it. And so Aaron's feeling all bad this whole time because he's like, I don't want him to not trust me, and I feel bad giving him this stuff. And I'm like, let's just fucking do it. Get it over with. Like, come on. It's the mom in me. Like, you're going to bitch about your leg, or are we going to fix your leg? Which one?
Both.
Not with me.
No.
You can do that with your friends.
And then it's on doctor's orders now too.
Yeah. So
like doctor's orders, do this.
Darwin, he's fine. He's not breathing hard at all right now. But he gets home. He's excited because Aaron's home. He's all worked up. Aaron's like, let's give him fucking trazodone. I'm like, what's your problem? You just said you don't like drugging him up.
Well, yesterday
now you want to give him more.
So like
drugged up.
No, yesterday he did not. He was chilling. He was like happy and his eyes were bright.
I will say
yesterday he seemed like he was more used to it. He wasn't like that, like kind of like panicky looking. He's just like,
but it does take away from his personality.
Yeah,
it really does. And you can see his eyes are not clear. You know, it's like when somebody's like, I'm not high, and they're all glassy eyed. Like that's Darwin, And
let me smell your breath,
and Aaron
man.
is like going back and forth and was like, let's drug him up. No, let's not drug him up. I'm like, first of all, Darwin truly doesn't like it. Every now and then he'll come up and ask me for a hit of weed. Like he literally will come up to me.
He does,
but he does it literally like once in a great while. Once in a great while, if Apple has a little bit of a beer, he'll want some of his beer
or wine.
Once in a great while. Now Aaron's talking about putting him on anxiety meds. It's going to totally change his personality, and I'm not down with it.
I don't know how we got into this at the beginning of Brick's interview.
We're going to just
give an update on
we're giving an update because people, thank you so much to everybody. Adam, I know that you sent some love Darwin's way, so thank you for doing that, and everybody else who didn't
Adam
tell
L?
me. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Everybody that didn't tell me but still sent it, thank you, because I definitely feel like he felt it.
Please keep sending it because we still haven't had a proper vet visit.
Well, yeah, we had to postpone it.
Maniac.
We had to postpone
Darwin
it.
is still receiving.
So he's still in the middle of figuring out what is really truly going on with him. But don't turn my dog into a drug addict.
All right.
He doesn't like it.
He doesn't want to be on SSRIs.
And I don't like it.
Yeah, the dog he throws at. He enjoys his cocktails more.
So now, the real story on this episode is
this week's guest is Brick, the creator and promoter of the Ramble Festival. And I have to say a huge thank you to Emily for connecting Brick and No Simple Road. I would gather what happened is Emily had a meeting with Brick to do PR for them. And then afterwards, she shot me an email and was like, I just met your soul brother. You guys have to talk to Brick. And
And he fit right in. You'll hear from the beginning of this how it fits so well.
I was not present for this episode. I was working, so you are going to enjoy the three guys on this episode. So I'm actually excited to listen to because I don't know.
This is a beard heavy episode of No Simple Road.
And this is like very time accurate. Like today,
Usual.
the festival starts today, October 11th, and goes through the 13th. In Darlington, Maryland at Camp Ramblewood.
Right on.
Yeah, this is hopefully some of you that are listening to, I hope you're like on your way to the festival, or you're very pulled in the grounds and you're hearing Brick talk about this amazing festival.
And if you were on the fence about going, there's still time. You can go to, what's the website, Apple?
The website is ramblefestival.com
and still get tickets.
And I love this website. They provide like so much information about the festival. There's like so much to look at here to find out about the Ramble.
And this is a festival, a lot of festivals come at it from like, we're different than all the other festivals. And then they've got art installations and music and food.
I'll tell you what's different. They have a supply drive. And they have the most needed items: clothing, toiletries, batteries, fuel cans, children's toys, bedding. So I've never seen this ever at a festival.
But what the mindset that Brick is approaching the Ramble Festival from is that, people come for the music the first time.
Sure.
But the reason that people go back to a festival the second year is because of the community and relationships that you make at the festival that year. So he's creating a space that fosters those relationships and building those and the community, and is taking direct feedback from the community as to what would make the festival better year after year, instead of just, I'm going to pick a bunch of dope bands and people who come see them. It's all about the people.
That's awesome.
One other thing,
up our alley.
One other thing that's different too that I love about this is the busking competition that they hold.
Super cool.
They hold a busking competition where all these bands get a play, and then last year's winner of the busking competition, Julia Kasdorf. She gets to play this year because she won the busking competition, and then they'll do the same thing. Also, this is something you'll hear in here. It's very, very about the music also, because it never stops. They have music going all the time. The buskers along the path, stuff going on in the campgrounds. They have the late night super jams, the extra late night jams.
Dang.
So I mean, they keep this going. So
this is one that I would want to attend someday, and I think that should be on No Simple Road's radar for the future. And thanks for hooking us up with Brick. And Brick, I hope everything's going smooth out there at the Ramble right now. And like I said before, everybody, if you're on the fence in the area or not in the area and can drive, you could still get there. It's only Friday. It's the whole weekend. So go do your thing. We are going to do the business and get you to this conversation with Brick right now. So follow No Simple Road at No Simple Road on the social media platforms. Go to patreon.com/No Simple Road, because here's the thing. No Simple Road costs $1 a month. For those of you that have recently signed up on Patreon, thank you for following the rules and paying your $1 a month for No Simple Road. Yeah, man. That's a rule. It's a thing. Because I'm making it a thing. Nobody's checking though. So yeah.
If you guys could see my face, I'm like really grossed out about the rules.
You're not about the rules.
I'm not feeling
Neither
that
are
at all.
listeners.
That's only if you listen to No Simple Road,
it's not a rule. It's a suggestion.
A guideline.
You said it twice.
It's a guideline. A loose suggestion.
Look, me, Aaron, and Apple would love for everybody that listens to the show to join Patreon. Period. There ain't no rule about it. We appreciate it. It helps us. And the more you give, the better the show can be. Period. You can give $1, but give 5, give 20, give 80, give 30. Who cares? Give what you can. There's no fucking rules. Period.
Well, and there is not a rule, but there is something. If you do $5 or more, and you get one of those lost sailor keychains.
That's a cute, fun benefit.
That's a rule,
not.
though.
That's definitely not a rule.
Yeah, if you do it, then it's a rule that you get one.
No, Aaron wants all these rules. I'm not having it. I'm not having it. Everybody out there, there's contention in the NSR. I'm not about rules. Aaron's about rules.
Anyway, Go to Patreon, sign up, man. We'd appreciate it. That's how we keep the show going. Also, you can go to our website, www.nosimpleroad.com. You can get No Simple Road merch there. You could sign up for our newsletter that I haven't done in forever.
And
This is also where you can find out about all the rules.
That's right.
Yeah, rule number
A to Z, dude.
$1 a month.
If you want to have an awesome tarot reading with Aaron and I, come join us, sign up, and you get an hour with us. We send you a playlist. We take our time. We use the No Grateful Dead. I was going to say No Simple Road deck,
That'd be
which
dope.
maybe that'll happen someday, but we use the Grateful Dead deck, and we freaking love doing it.
Yeah,
so
man.
sign up for that.
Yep, that's a rule. If you want a tarot reading,
Oh my
you gotta
gosh.
go to our website.
971-808-1524.
This is the tepid line.
That's right, Apple. 971-808-1524. You can leave messages. You can leave suggestions. You can leave, I'm not fucking doing no rules. Whatever you want. Uh-oh.
What?
We have one.
We have a review?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
We have
Okay.
a tepid line.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's right. We do. We have a tepid line call. Hold
Yep.
on. We do.
Hey, No Simple Road. This is Dave from California.
We missed you.
I'm on the roads today making my deliveries and wanted to wish Mel a very
Aw.
special happy birthday.
Dave, thanks.
Happy birthday from all of us to you. happy birthday. I forget the lyrics.
Yes.
Anyway, Mel, I hope that your day is wonderful and that Aaron spoils the ever-loving crap out of you and that you spend the day with much joy and a smile plastered to your face all day long. Much love to you. Much love to the family. Much love to Aaron and Apple and everybody out there. I wish everybody a great day today.
Aw, Dave.
That was so sweet, Dave.
And every day.
Yeah, I like that. That was a great pause.
Okay,
Well
I
done,
thought you were
dude.
done. That's awesome that we haven't heard from you in a while, and then you call to wish me happy birthday. That's super dope.
Very
Thank you.
sweet.
And I did have a smile plastered on my face, and Aaron did spoil me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This all
Yep.
happened.
It did.
Yeah, that's 971-808-1524. Where there are no rules, you can just call in and say whatever you want. That's our thing.
This is where you hang out. If you don't want any rules, this is the rule-free
Rule-free zone over at No
Rule-free.
Simple
Get all
Road,
willy-nilly
man.
with it.
Yeah, and then please, we haven't had a review on Apple Podcasts since when?
When?
August 19th.
Yeah, I was gonna say Wednesday.
Wow,
I don't know where that
August.
was.
Since
coming
Wednesday. Man, fuck.
from. Wow.
Yeah, no, since August, and
It
and that
could have been a Wednesday.
Makes us a little sad over here at No Simple Road because when you guys leave us reviews on there, that's how other people find it. Well, one way that other people find out about the show, and then last but not least, tell somebody
the
you
best
love
way.
about NSR. That's how we spread the mycelial network that is the connection between you, us, and the other folks that listen to No Simple Road. That's what makes up the No Simple Road family. Oh, one last thing. Well, two things I forgot. So that wasn't last but not least. First thing, if you're on the fence about the Patreon thing, you can go to patreon.com/No Simple Road right now and just sign up for free. You don't have to do the $1 a month thing. See what's going on over there. Decide if it's, something that you want to dive deeper into, give you the opportunity to test the waters, if you will. So yeah, you can sign up for free over there. And then also go to YouTube and subscribe for our YouTube channel, because you can listen to the episodes of No Simple Road on YouTube as well, and then catch the content that goes up there. I have a feeling, something tells me that in the very near future, there will be a lot of content on the No Simple Road YouTube channel. Just saying. So go over there and subscribe now, hit the bell and do all that stuff so you get notifications when we put blah, blah, blah. You know how to do it. Anyway,
Yeah.
Wow.
blah, blah.
Blah, blah.
Let's do
no
this.
more rules.
Well, yeah, there's one more rule. You gotta
I roll.
Apple rules. Just stick around for this amazing talk with Brick from the Ramble Festival, and yeah, that's it. Last rule.
That's it.
Cool.
Yeah. And for all you there this weekend, enjoy.
Yeah, everybody at the Ramble. And without further ado, the No Simple Road crew gives you
Brick. I guess we should keep making
talking
noise.
so that Brick can hear us.
Yeah.
And while we're talking, then Brick,
All right,
Brick
we'll
might
keep
be able to hear
talking to
us. But
see.
hopefully he can hear us when he pushes a button, and then
And
something will
hello,
happen.
hello.
And Brick can hear us when we're talking.
There you go. I got you
Got us
there
now.
you go.
Yeah, we were like, we got all silent, and it's like, oh wait, maybe we should keep talking so he knows when we come through. So,
Yeah, appreciate that, guys. Hey, how you doing today? Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday,
happy
man.
Sunday.
What's going on?
Man, just happy to be here.
Oh, right
Thanks
on.
for having me on, guys. I actually didn't realize that I was wearing the official uniform of the No Simple Road podcast today by having my beard on.
Yes,
And a hat.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Aaron, man.
Hey, how's it going, Eric?
What's going on?
And then I'm Apple.
And normally there's a third one of us here, my wife Mel, but she's actually working this morning, so she's here in spirit. She's like right here.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And now we're blurry.
Hell yeah.
Hang on. Let me see if I can do this.
We're very blurry.
Oh man, what the fuck? Come on, camera. All right, well, you're gonna look at us blurry for a minute. It's okay.
It should catch up.
You get it. So tell us everything there is to know about the Ramble Festival, Brick.
Man, the Ramble is it's my baby. It started as a now I can see.
There we go.
All right. It started as just this crazy idea that I had that I guess I should start by saying it came about when I was through hiking the Appalachian Trail in 2021.
Oh wow.
I was on a through hike. I stepped away from the corporate world. I'd spent a decade climbing the ladder and burnout. And right as COVID started, I dropped the mic, walked away from the corporate world, and started towards getting ready to through hike the Appalachian Trail. And I started my through hike in 2021 down in Georgia, headed north. And I got as far as Asheville, North Carolina. Wanted to spend a few days off trail, just catch my breath, and put in about 400 or 500 miles at that point. And I stopped off in Asheville, and it just so happened that I walked into Asheville on 4/20, 2021,
Not
my
on
first
purpose?
day in town. Not on purpose,
Okay.
complete happenstance. So I walk into town, everything's still pretty shut down from COVID. I went and got a bite to eat, and then I said, you know what, I'm going to follow my ears and find some live music. Because that's what I love to do. And I hadn't had that through COVID or on the trail. And walked into the only place I could find live music going on in 420 in Asheville. And I fell in love with the place. And as I like to say, the journey quickly became larger than the hike when I got to Asheville. I fell into the live music scene and the industry side and started hanging out with bands and going to band practices and all folks in the industry. And what was supposed to be a few days in Asheville to catch my breath turned into a 5-week start to a journey that I could never have imagined was going to take me to the places it has.
Do you live there now?
I don't. I spend a lot of time there, have a lot of deep ties there. I try to spend a week or two there every month or so, every two months. But a lot of my industry ties now are in Asheville, but also my chosen family within the music community. A big part of it's there as well.
So I got to know, what were you doing in the corporate world?
It was corporate government contracting things. I flew all over the world for a long time doing defense contracting things. And
Whoa.
yeah.
Okay.
Much different life. I was a little more clean cut at that time and, working 60, 80-hour weeks doing the corporate thing. But it wasn't for me. It was soul sucking.
Oh, dude.
The paycheck was nice, but that's about it.
The things we'll do for a paycheck.
I get it, man. I've been an engineer for telecom for the last 8 years here, and while doing No Simple Road at the same time. And I know what you mean about soul sucking. Don't get me wrong, man. I'm super grateful for what it provides. It gives me the opportunity to be able to do all the shit that we do. But at the same time, trading your time and your talent for somebody else's gain just for a paycheck is tough, man. And congratulations on fucking just saying, I'm doing it. I'm dropping it.
I didn't have a choice. Like it came to a point in life where it was seriously affecting my health, mentally, physically, emotionally. And if I didn't make a change, if I didn't walk away, who knows where I'd be today. But I know the Ramble Festival wouldn't exist. And no matter what it's taken to get there, where it goes from here, it's been the joy of my life bringing this to life and creating a space where people can be the freest versions of themselves and really connect with other humans on deep and genuinely meaningful levels. And ultimately, that's what the Ramble is about. The exact opposite, the antithesis of what the corporate world is about.
Yeah, man.
And now you're doing the healing. Like
that's the idea. Yeah. You know, there's when you realize how short life is, truly how short life is in a grand scheme of things, we are here for like an eye blink.
Mm-hmm.
And the linear notion of time that we see it. And when you start to realize that life's too short, that you only get one shot around this rock, you got to do things that feed your soul, that are driven by your passions, not things that you just do to get to the other side of and waste the majority of your life pursuing things that are going to suck your soul and not add to this world and make it better for other people. And I don't want to be that person anymore. I want to be a person that follows my passions, and to the best of my ability, I'm going to do that for the rest of my life. And it just so happens that one of my most significant passions in life is creating space for people to be the freest versions of themselves.
You know,
and
it's
for a community to come about.
It's a trip that, like, if you think about the culture that we're in, we work, 50-ish weeks a year for 2 weeks where we, feel free and can cut loose and then go back. And it's the most difficult grind I can even imagine. I turned 52 last year, and being in your 50s, I realized, man, I don't have as much in front of me as I do behind me. And so my decision-making process is completely different. I want to do those things that are going to give me experiences that add something to who I am and the world around me, and not just live my life in a hole and then come out for 2 weeks every year and go back. It just doesn't make sense. October is the time when we start thinking about candy and Halloween and spooky
costumes.
stuff, all that fun stuff. Our friends over at Melt Premium Mushroom Chocolates have the adult version of Halloween treats ready for you. 10 different flavors of mushroom chocolate bars with 4 grams of their sacred mushroom blend in every bar.
And you want to know what? They have different choices. If you're not into chocolate, they've got capsules. If you want something a little bit more fun than capsules, they've got gummies. And they have the Melt Minis, which are perfect for that grown-up Halloween party.
So what you got to do is go over to @meltmushrooms on Instagram, shoot them a DM and say, hey, No Simple Road sent me, and they're going to send you a menu, and then you have to choose from all those delightful things that Mel just mentioned.
And then it comes right to you. And hey, check it out. For the month of October, when you tell them that No Simple Road sent you, the folks over at Melt Premium Mushroom Chocolates are going to be sending you a free goodie bag filled with all kinds of extras and fun stuff on the inside that's all good for your head. So like Apple said, go follow @meltmushrooms on Instagram, shoot them a DM, tell them we sent you, and get yourself hooked up with the good stuff.
Yeah, when it sounds like you did the same, like COVID, like shutting the world off taught so many of us how precious life is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, obviously that's what happened with you, because it happened with us. We've been doing No Simple Road for a little over 7 years now, and when COVID happened, like, we kind of freaked out. It's like, how do we continue to do this? We're a live music podcast, but fortunately, all of a sudden, all the artists were at home. Mm-hmm. And like bored and happy to be at home off the road. And, and it ended up being a great thing for us. And likewise, like you, we learned so much from it, like coming out of it. We've said before, it's like a renaissance happened for our community, especially, you see, in like the jam band, bluegrass world and everything. So many artists learned to tour smarter instead of harder, and we all learned to value our time, and then also learn that, man, this world really needs us to be putting love back into it and providing this healing after they tried to wipe it out. Like,
Brick, can you tell me a little bit about, like, you go to Asheville on your hike, spend some time there. How do you get from there to doing Ramble? Because that's a stretch.
It is. It is. Well, what I realized, and it's a perfect segue actually, because I realized in Asheville that what I had missed about live music more than anything through COVID, because none of us were going to shows. There weren't shows to go to, there weren't
Right.
festivals to go to. But what I missed actually wasn't the music as much. I mean, I did miss the music. I love the music. That's the common thread that pulls us all together in this community. But what I really missed was the people, was the community of people that I'd grown to understand were my family of choice within the music community, and had grown to that place in my world. And when the common thread went away because of COVID and the shows weren't going on and the festivals weren't going on, I had this hole in the middle of me where my festival family and my music community family used to help fill. And when I realized that, and I realized what I was feeling and the real impact of not having shows in the community was the community, I knew that I could do something about that. I knew that I had it within me. I knew that I had the capability. I knew that I had the drive and the vision. And after I left Asheville and I went to a kind of small regional festival called Mountain Music Festival in Southern West Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
And this was at the very beginning of June after spending the previous 5 weeks in Asheville. I sat down on a Saturday and walked around by myself at this festival, and I started not paying attention to the music and the attendees and the vendors. And I started looking at the infrastructure and the logistics going on around me. There's this whole orchestra of people moving and doing things and staff supporting this entire experience going on. So when I tuned into that and I started looking around and really studying it for a day, what I realized was there was nothing going on at this festival that I couldn't bring to life, that it would take more work than I could ever possibly imagine. And it turns out I was right. But that's what led me to decide, hey, I'm going to do this. And I went home after that weekend, stopped in and kind of reset. And that's when I decided I'm going to try this festival thing, and we're going to move full steam ahead. And it was really at that point that the call was made and I started moving.
So you start there. What's next? Because we're involved in a community out here in Oregon, and we have friends that own 25 acres that it's a festival grounds, and they've thrown a couple of regional festivals out there. And I see what it takes, but to get from idea to bands playing on a stage is a big thing. And like you said, there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes that nobody thinks about, like the volunteers, the security, the medics, the fucking porta potties.
That was one of the biggest ones we learned: porta potties and toilet paper.
And also, great, you have an idea, but where do you put it? You know what I mean? So how do you get from here, where you're at now, next step?
Mm-hmm. Well, the absolute first thing you guys got to realize is, in order to take the next step, you have to be in sync.
Right.
That's the first thing.
We're good. We got that.
It's so much work and so much money and so much you put in for such a high risk and low reward. It's not about anything that you can tangibly put your hands on for the most part.
Right.
It's about the feeling you get inside when you look around and know that you've created something that is not only special to you, but is now special to other people because of the way that it makes them. But to get there, to answer a more logistics question, you have to understand the details of it all, and to step back and to be able to take every little piece and understand that it comes together in this massive orchestration that is not done by one person or two people. It's a whole team of people that brings this together. I'm just one of the guys that had this vision that wanted to see it, bring it to life. But a venue is a big thing. Having funding behind you, having some sort of some money to put behind this it's a requirement. You can't pull this stuff out of thin air, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I happen to have worked with a venue previously, the venue that we do the Ramble Festival at, Camp Ramblewood, which is a beautiful, beautiful venue. Former kids' summer camp turned into festival and event space. They don't do kids' camps there anymore, but they just turned it over and said, let's start doing outdoor events here, only groups. And consequently, it has this amazing infrastructure, these cabins on site, finely trimmed green lawns for you to set tents on. It has most all the infrastructure I need, flushable toilets all over the place.
Holy
You can rent
smokes,
cabins
man.
for your group to stay in, like summer camp style cabins. The farthest one is a 250-yard walk from the main stage. It is set up to be the most tight-knit, community-focused, and vibe-centric festival at this location you could ever imagine. It's 15 minutes off Route 9, Interstate 95 in Maryland, right on the Susquehanna River, almost on the Pennsylvania border, halfway between Philadelphia and Baltimore. It's really a choice place.
Holy shit.
Yeah, knowing about that and having the ability to at least have the conversations about doing something like there to start this thing was huge. You know, that is definitely a big part. And Ramblewood leaning into supporting us and giving us a chance to grow with them as we put this event together has really been instrumental in seeing the Ramble Festival go from year one in this concept to now going into year three with our biggest lineup yet, and we feel really good about it. And the one thing I will say above all of this that fits into that question here is the devil's in the details.
Okay.
You know, it's not just the porta-johns and the toilet paper. It's making sure that you have somebody going by on occasion and making sure there's still toilet paper in there, and making sure that, you know, we have things cleaned up enough that it isn't a, no pun intended, shitty experience going into one of those
Yes.
things. You know, it's thinking through the next level of details that change the experience for people, because it's not enough to have a porta-john or to have a porta-john with toilet paper in it. But when you put a few lights in there, maybe you put a fun sign on the door, it changes the experience. And when you can take that level of detail and thought as to create intentional and curated space so that it facilitates a free experience for people, that's the difference.
Yeah,
that's the difference between just throwing something on the wall and creating something that's going to resonate with people and create a group resonance that raises it for everyone at the same time.
Well, what you're doing too, in turn, I mean, it's not just a group experience at the end of the day. You're actually creating change in the world around us from people coming in there and having that experience, because those people are having a time that changes them, and then they go back out into the world and affect the world around them. So it's these ripples that are going out. It's not like some vainglorious kind of thing where you're going in to just do it because, hey, let's throw a party so everybody can have a great time. Sure, that's cool, but at the end of the day, this thing is having a positive effect on the world around us, as most community music festivals and experiences should do, right? I mean, that would be the point.
That's exactly it. And you can see me smiling and even tearing up over here, because it is about the ripples. And I say that all the time. It's not about the direct experience you have as much as it is the exponential positivity and difference in the world that we have seen it make by the ripples that go out. Right. And it's not just the first order ripples. It's not the ripples we send out into the world and hit people. It's the ripples that they then send out, and the energetic signal, as it were, is amplified exponentially over and over and over again. But it has to start from that pure place. And that is why we do this, is for the ripples. You know, trust me when I say if you're putting on a small independent music festival, you're probably not doing it to make money.
Yeah, right.
No. The economics aren't there, and most of the world doesn't kind of get to see behind that veil, but that's real. We're doing this to create the ripples.
That's what I forgot who we were talking to. One of the promoters of a festival we were talking is like, first off, you need to have, depending on the size of the festival, about $10,000 to $50,000 that you could just put in a pile and catch on fire.
You'd be willing to catch it on fire.
Be willing to catch it on fire, because you're not going to see that back, but that's what it takes to, get it going. And I was going to say, very impressive too, for like even the first year, 2022. I mean, you started off, a lot of festivals start with not quite the lineup that like you guys, I mean, you guys started off first year with an incredible lineup, and it's just each year up to now, it's just an amazing lineup. I'm just wondering about that too, about like booking.
Yeah. Who curates that?
I there's a team of us that work on it. Ultimately, I do have a pretty significant role in curating the lineup. I spend a lot of time out at live music myself at festivals. I think I went to 15 festivals this summer between the beginning of May and mid-August. But it's about getting out and seeing the right talent. And I can count on one hand the number of bands on this lineup that have been booked without me seeing them in person at a live show first. Because it's not just about where they fit on a bill and how many tickets they're going to sell. It's about the energetic experience that each of those artists have on stage and how they share that with the community that is there to see them, with the attendees, and the energetic exchange that goes back and forth between the audience and the people off the stage, to me, is every bit as important as how it sounds to me. Because that exchange is what takes things to the next level, which makes it more than just a music festival, which makes it a community festival with a kick-ass lineup, as I like to say. And it really is a labor of love, and a lot of thought and time and intent goes into very much so curating the lineup so that it creates a space where people are free to take that, to really fall into it and feel good about the energetic exchange that happens there. Because when that is flowing freely from artist to attendee and back and forth, it raises it for everyone at the same time. We're looking for ways to create group resonance experiences that elevate the experience exponentially. And it's not just one little thing we do, like how we choose the lineup and how each of those bands on the lineup synergistically fit with each other within the schedule to curate a energetic and emotional experience throughout the weekend. There's a lot more thought that goes into it than just, hey, these guys look cool, let's throw them up on the lineup at some point.
Yeah, just stack them in there.
Yeah.
At the best music festivals that I've been to, I would say that the music almost becomes a secondary thing to the experience that you're having with the people you're there with. And there's a lot of other things going on, art installations or people doing live painting, stuff like that. What kind of secondary experience stuff do you guys have going on, Brick?
Well, we do a lot of really cool things. Some are very unique to the Ramble Festival, and some you see at others festivals. We lean very heavy into our art, our visual art. I happen to be a lover and collector of art myself, and it translates into the festival as well. We have an amazing live art painting team. We have a couple dozen live artists that come out and paint throughout the festival, a couple muralists. We also set up a art gallery on our second stage, which we call the beer hall stage, because it's set up as a large Oktoberfest style beer hall. Oh, shit. And it has all the vibes. We do it up, and then on the walls of the beer hall is an art gallery that has I think we had over 200 different pieces of art on the walls last year that attendees can come through and observe, and they're also for sale too if there's anything that appeals to people. We do second line parades through camp multiple times a day. Have a brass band that we have, Naptown Brass Band, and we do a second line through camp. They go through the entire festival grounds and they Pied Piper people up to the main stage. And as they play the last note of their second line, the first note of the first band on the main stage kicks off, and we go right from the second line to kicking off the main stage with this group of people that we Pied Pipered in for the first band.
Yes.
Wow.
Stuff like that. Artist-led campfire jams every night where attendees are encouraged to bring out an instrument and jam next to the musicians on site that are hanging out.
Really?
We try to keep as many bands on site for overnight or multiple days to facilitate their experience as part of the community, not just as someone playing on a stage that needs to get in the van and head to the next gig.
That's
yeah. Well, I saw that there. You talked to you. It's very encouraged for everybody to bring an instrument, jam.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of unique. I love that. We saw that a little bit at like Northwest String Summit out here,
Mm-hmm.
where you'd see the artists hanging out in camp with the attendees and just jamming. And then I also saw that you guys you have like a busking competition.
That's one of my favorite things. That's one of my babies. It really is my pet projects. Very early in all of this, one of the concepts I had was, how do we create an experience where people experience live music from the second they get on site, the entire time they're here until they leave. And that isn't just on stages. Stages are just one small part of that, right? There can be live music infused throughout any experience if you look at it from the right perspective. And one of the ways that I was able to come up to do that, we were able to come up to do that, is we created a busking ambassador program. So for me, it's creating a space for people, but it's the busking program is even dear to my heart because it's really about giving opportunities to musicians that are just getting started, that they may be playing on street corners, but haven't had the chance to get on a stage yet. Or if they have, it hasn't taken off for them. They're trying to figure out how to take the next step in their musical journeys to have the opportunity to play on a stage at a place like the Ramble Festival and to get people their foot in the door. So I started thinking, how do I incorporate these two ideas of wanting to infuse live music everywhere on site and also support up and coming musicians in the same process? And that's where the busking program came out of. And the idea is they apply to be a busker at the Ramble. We select, I think we have about 12 people selected this year for the Ramble Festival buskers. They're asked to come out for the whole weekend, busk around the festival, busk with other buskers, hang out in the food court. I have in particular buskers out at the front gate. As people roll in on site, they have people playing music to them before they even get their wristband to come in for the weekend, because I want live music to be infused from the very moment they roll on site before they're even out of their car.
Yes.
So it's a great program, and it fuses a lot of music all over. And then at the end of the weekend, we do a competition, and all the buskers get up and play an original song. And the winner of the competition gets a set on stage at the Ramble Festival the following year.
Oh,
And
wow.
it gives them that opportunity. It's been really amazing to see how the best part is to see how the buskers have grown each year, and they come together. And while they're competing at the end of the weekend for this slot, that's just the carrot to get the buskers to come out. For me, that's not the point. The point is to create the energetic experience and give them the opportunity, not just to get a spot on stage next year, but to be in the green rooms and hang out with bands and people in the industry and network and, play music around a campfire with people that are playing on the stages, earlier in the day. And being part of that whole experience has been really extraordinary for our buskers so far. In fact, one of our buskers came up the first year, and she got on stage at the busking competition, and she said, I started playing a guitar 10 months ago. I've never sang on a stage before. The Ramble Festival has given me what I've always needed in my life, and I'm going to dedicate my life to music. This person came to me earlier this year and said, I'm quitting my day job, my very stable county day job, and I'm dedicating my life full-time to music. Their band is, they've joined a band, and we booked their band this year for the Ramble Festival as one of our local and regional bands. So to see the busking story come full circle in such a way that we helped someone go from getting on stage for the first time and finding the music selves to getting in a band. Now we've booked their band that they're part of to come back to the Ramble, and just kind of seeing the full circle nature of this community and how we support each other is one of the joys of the Ramble.
I was going to say, so you're seeing your face and your smile. You're like a proud papa. You're now seeing the festival birth these things like, oh my God, that's amazing. And that's so important to like, that's why we do what we do too, trying to support up and coming bands to get the word out for people. Cause it's a crazy world we live in of getting your band promoted with the social media scene and all the things that are involved in it now. It is so rewarding to help, a lot of these acts get more recognition, because at the end of the day, that's what we want. Every day, if I can discover a new band or a new that's what it's all about, is discovering new music all the time.
And it seems to me, Brick, that like part of the vision of what you're doing is blurring the lines between the artists and the community to make everybody realize that we're all just fucking people, and to have that thing, whatever that weird wall is between the stage and the audience, kind of disappear. And, keeping the artists on site as much as possible so that they can hang out with the people that they played for. I'm going to tell you something, man. That's huge from a fan's perspective. One of the things that we learned doing this, when we would interview somebody that we hadn't seen before, we would talk to them, get to know them a little bit, and then go see them play. The experience of seeing that person play was tenfold deeper, because now your buddy's up there. Yeah. And you're rooting for them to do better. And so now you've got this energetic connection with them. So I can imagine that the vibe at these sets is through the roof.
It is. There's very few bands that I book that I haven't met in person, because it's not just about the energetic experience of their performance on stage. It is, and the exchange with the audience. I try to meet as many of them as possible, because I like to know who they are as humans, because who they are as humans comes through their music and comes through their stage presence and comes through the energetic interaction. And the more of a connection that I can feel to them as a human, the more a connection that I believe that the audience at the Ramble is going to feel, even if it's just them on stage. Maybe it's an in-passing interaction with a member of a band on the way to a porta-john or to get a beer at a bar or whatever. I want that experience to be every good as experience as them seeing them shred a solo at a late night, you know, because it's all important. It all matters. It's not like we can say that the only thing that matters at a festival or anything in this community is what happens on stage. That's actually such a small part of it. It's really about the community and the people and bringing people together and how they interact. And you're absolutely right. At the end of the day, we're all just people. It doesn't matter whether you're the guy on stage playing as part of the headlining act, or if you're behind the stage as part of the crew, or picking up trash, or me running around trying to direct the whole thing, or even the drunk look in the woods, as I like to say, has a role, all of which are important in bringing together something like this. Because if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have the experience that we're having, even the parts that we may not be able to understand how at that time they fit in, like the drunk look in the woods. But everyone has an equally important role in bringing this together and to make it what it is.
You know, the idea of this, the execution of it, your perspective on it come from a really like a deep place, a place that I completely understand why you're doing what you're doing. But what I'm curious about is that doesn't just happen. You had to have some experience at some point in your life that started you on this trip with music. What was your first, like, wow?
I mean, music has been a love in my life for a long time, you know, in a more general sense, and where those roots come from. It started with my dad very early in life. You know, he loved classic rock and leaned into that, he and my uncle in particular. So we used to spend hours listening to music. And by the time I was 16, I knew more about most classic rock and classic rock artists and tours than people that had lived through it. You know, I wasn't alive at the time in the 60s and 70s, but so that's really where my musical roots come from to start as a kid. But so far as like being in the scene, and the crazy thing is, guys, and most people don't really believe this, but I kind of came out of nowhere. I decided I was going to throw a festival because I loved what it could do, and I could see the ripples we could use it to put out in the world. And while I have a bunch of different capabilities and skill sets from corporate world and other things over the years, I really did just decide we're going to do this. And it wasn't like I never worked a festival before.
Had you ever, you'd been to festivals though? I've
been to many festivals.
Okay.
I mean, that's how this really all started, it, guys. If we boil it down, I just created the festival I've always wanted to attend.
Totally.
That's why it's in October, because I like hoodie and campfire weather, not to sweat my balls off in the middle of a field somewhere with like 800 other people.
We just became best friends.
That's my favorite thing about like having it when you do, which I would just imagine too, the location of it in the fall is just gorgeous. And you don't have to deal with that the middle of the summer, the sun. Like this year we went to it was a dream come true for me. We went to Winter Wondergrass up in Lake Tahoe,
and it was snowing.
Wearing parkas. I got to bust out my fur hat that I never get to wear anywhere because it's too hot, and like the snow coming down. We were having like hot little whiskey drinks and this and that, and I mean just. I really appreciate that on a personal level of loving the cold and being able to bundle up when you have the festival. That's amazing. The other thing too I wanted to ask about, because this is something I saw unique reading about Ramble, is a lot of them do it, but it seems like you really listen to the feedback from the people that have attended the festival. Like I saw this year, people were complaining about the fence. And you addressed it. It was like the fence is gone, but there's a but, but you're like listening and curating it to what people are feeding back to you.
Makes sense.
It really is important to us. I mean, at the end of the day, how are we going to create a community festival that's built to make ripples out into the world and make people feel comfortable if we don't listen to them? We can't tell them what they want. We can listen to them and do our best to translate that into as many people as possible. But when we start looking at them and say, no, we know what you want better than you do, we've already lost the game. It's already gone, So paying attention to the people that is part of the community. I try not to see these people as anyone as anything but members of a community we're trying to grow and to really put out to the world. I see many people or many festivals, not even festivals, many entities in the world that see humans as walking pocketbooks or wallets, and how you can, what does that translate to financially? And from a business standpoint, yes, you have to think about those things and plan so you can make things sustainable, but that doesn't need to be the ultimate goal. I don't believe that what feeds my soul is not that. What feeds my soul is knowing that we're creating something that is going to bring people together. And frankly, I feel like we've come up with a pretty spot on formula, if you will, to create community to the extent that you can do that.
Right.
And it's really twofold. And the first is you have to create a space where people are free to be the most genuine versions of themselves, where they can wear the masks, take off the masks that they wear in their everyday life. They're not trying to be a role as a mother, brother, coworker, son, child, whatever. They are only there to be the most genuine versions of themselves because they feel safe to do so. And when they feel safe to be the most genuine versions of themselves, they drop all of their defense mechanisms and all of the things that keep them from genuinely and deeply connecting with other humans in real ways. So once you can get them, create a space where people are free to be that comfortable, that they don't feel like they have to have defenses up, you just create experiences where they can share that are unique and ecstatic when they're in that place. And you can't create community, but what you can create are the conditions for community to organically create itself.
A container.
And that's what we really do with the Ramble. And that's what it's all about. And it's not just like we were talking a little bit ago. It's not just about the experience and the ripples that happen on site.
Right.
It is my desire for every single person that comes out to the Ramble Festival, whether they're buying a ticket, whether they're in a band, whether they're on a staff or a volunteer or a vendor, it doesn't matter. What I want more than anything is from each and every one of those individuals to feel what it feels like when you're in that space where you can be the most genuine version of yourself and realize the next step, which is they can take that feeling with them into the rest of the world. Yeah. It's not just a weekend. It's not 2 weeks a year. It is a choice to live your life in a way where you can feel the same degree of freedom, the same degree of connection every day, not just at a festival. And to me, if we have one person that walks away from the Ramble Festival every year that gets that and understands that they can choose to live their life in a way that is ecstatic and in a way that is connective, in a way that is meaningful and working with and touching other people's lives, it doesn't just happen at a festival.
I have to do this. I have to.
It's a little sound effect.
There we go. You needed applause for that because it's the truth.
And like what you're saying too, I saw it on the site too, where you did the statement. It's like everybody at this festival is a VIP.
It is.
I
dope.
love that you don't, because we see it in so many of them now, and the bigger touring where there's, oh, you can get the VIP experience, and then you can get the diamond, and then there's the platinum, and then right away you're already creating a like almost a clique society where this group has the, and it's off-putting sometimes at festivals to see that. It's like, can't we all just buy a ticket and hang out together,
be there together,
and not have separation?
Well, it's hard for me to say that we have a community festival and it's not a music festival. It's a community festival when I'm creating division between people, when all I'm trying to do is bring people together.
Yeah.
Like literally one of the big reasons we took the fence out this year is because it is a physical division between people. And that is the last thing that we're trying to do. It's driven me crazy the past 2 years having the fence up. And it's no different in creating division between people and their interactions. It's not what we're trying to do, just the opposite. So anything like VIPs we're going to put up more fences and create more cordoned off areas for smaller groups of people. The idea with the Ramble from the very beginning was there's no VIPs because everyone's a VIP.
That's so
and I can't take the experience up to 10 for 10% of the people. I'd rather take the experience up to 9 for 100% of the people,
Hell yeah.
and raise it for everybody. And I'll be the first one to sit here and tell you, and maybe I shouldn't from an industry standpoint, but we're leaving so much money on the table that could help us sustain this festival by not doing VIPs and how we do it. Because I believe in the bigger picture. I believe in the bigger vision of what we're creating. And I know it's going to take some time to get over the hump to get to a point where the community is large enough to sustain this thing.
Yeah.
But when we can get there, it comes from such a pure place.
Yeah, you'll have done it
really
right.
does.
Yeah, man. And I really do believe, Brick, that like when you're operating from a place of pure, like coming from your heart with something, the universe has a way of coming through, and it's usually in the weirdest kind of a way, and the last thing you ever expected kind of thing will happen, but it always does come through, and it seems like it always happens at the 11th hour too. But when you're doing that, you just got to believe in the vision of the thing that you're creating and know that you're coming from the right place, and you're doing something to create a container for people to have an experience. And I'm really curious though, what are you having the opportunity to have that experience as well when this is going on? Or are you just working?
It looks a little different.
Right. Okay.
I'm not having the same experience that attendees are having. That's not my role in this one.
Right.
I get to go to a lot of festivals and shows, and at this point, it's actually more about promoting and supporting the Ramble and a few other things than it is in pure enjoyment. But I've come to a place where I'm really good with that, because what I can do, what I have the ability to do, along with the support of an amazing cast and team, is so much more important than me being able to enjoy it in the same way.
That's fair.
For me to, I would love to. I hope that the Ramble Festival gets to a point in the next few years at some point where I can step back and just be part of it as well.
Park
even
the
in a
gator
small
and take
way.
the walkie off.
That'll happen. That'll happen.
We're not there yet. But it's so much more important to me to ensure that we're curating that experience and maintaining the quality of that experience for everyone else on site.
Yeah.
That's my role in this one. And maybe someday I'll get to attend the festival I've always wanted to attend rather than putting it on.
Which will be
see.
Amazing when you finally get there.
Yeah,
I
man.
mean, you're seeing this grow and everything. When that year comes, when you get to do that, you're going to smile so hard, your face is going to crack.
Well, let me tell you guys about experience real quick. The first year, it took till Saturday afternoon, the first day and a half of the festival, till everything started to quiet down a little bit. And I finally, in the first year, day and a half into it, just started looking around. I had all like 15 minutes to catch my breath before someone needed something. And I started looking around, and what I realized is I gave up control to the universe of a lot of the things, and I became in a flow state leading up to that first festival.
Wow.
So when I looked around and saw that things had come together, like this vision in my head of literally thousands of different things coming together in concert to make this one big thing, it came off even better than I imagined in my head that it could. And that is one of the coolest experiences that I've ever had in my life, is looking around and going, this thing came out of my head over the course of the past year and a half, 2 years, and we brought it to life. An idea has been brought to life. And because I've been able to give up a certain amount of control and trust in the process and the universe and where we are at and where we're going, it turned out better than I could have even imagined or
that's
hoped
magic.
for.
That's straight up magic. That's alchemy. That's magic. You took something from the ether and brought it into existence. That's straight up magic. So if you're starting from that place, it can only continue to be that as long as you are coming from the heart.
Yeah. Well done, sir. You are a wizard.
Yeah. That's why you have the beard. That's why you're wearing the uniform.
It is the uniform, right? The wizard beard and everything.
So over 3 years, man, has it gotten easier?
There's less unknowns.
Okay.
Yeah, so to that extent, it's easier. It's still a struggle, man.
Yeah.
We don't have a large staff. There's a handful of us really working this every day, trying to get it together. You know, it's a shoestring budget, trying to make it all work. We're not backed by any corporate entities here. You know, it is our pockets, nothing else.
Got it.
That's supporting this. And it's tough. I'm not going to lie to you. It's been a real tough year for ticket sales for everybody. And, you know, we are full steam ahead and can't wait for this to happen. And would be really great if we got some more tickets sold and people to come in and to, you know what, guys, the thing is when people see it and are part of it, we're getting everybody back. Everybody that came back out the first year
is coming.
Like, we're coming back,
Yeah.
and it doesn't matter about the lineup. We sell. I have this concept to sell tickets on site for the following year, right? So we've done it first of the 2 years. We call it the Rambler Faithful program, and we didn't tell people the first year we were doing this. Anyone that bought tickets the first year to the festival on site at the cheapest price for next year's festival, in January of that year, we sent them out collectible limited edition pins and discount codes and early access to things as a surprise, just as a thank you for trusting in us and being part of our core crew. We did the same thing this past year, and it keeps growing. And what we see is that there's more and more people that don't care about what the lineup's going to be the following year, because we haven't created a festival that is about the lineup.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to hold, and it's going to be there. And it's about creating an experience where I've gone to a lot of events over the years, a lot of festivals, a lot of concerts, a lot of professional events of all sorts. And there's one thing that I've learned that I took into this entire experience is people come for the programming the first time, maybe the second time. But after that, they're coming back to share space with their chosen friends and family and the people that they've connected with previously. That becomes the driving force more than who's on the lineup or where the buskers are going to play or how many health and wellness and yoga classes there are for people or the amazing things we do for kids and the kids programming. It's about the connection between people. And when you take that into account and you build an event like we have, understanding that that is the most important thing people seek when they go to events, it shifts your perspective. It shifts your perspective on what's really important. You start looking at things like a lineup and going, okay, that dovetails into the rest of this experience, but that is not the entirety of this experience. And we've tried to take that approach because we've understood from the beginning how people actually interact in group dynamics and event dynamics. It has so much more to do with connection than anything else.
Yeah, that I'm glad you just mentioned that too. That's one thing, not unique, but that's very important that you're doing. And it sounds like it's grown again this year is the kids stuff for kids to have. Cause that's something of a lot of festivals we've been to. The only one that really stands out is Northwest String Summit.
There was a lot of kids stuff
they had a kids stage where like the bluegrass, but the bands that played later had an opportunity to go do a smaller set in the kids area for the kids and do sillier songs and fun things. And there's all kinds of arts and craft, because a lot of like the three of us, we're older, and you see older people, they got kids, they got families. And that's one of my favorite things is any show I go to, when you see the 2, 3, 4-year-old with their headphones on, and they're dancing to the music before, like the house music before the band even comes on. Like, that makes me so happy to see, and it makes you feel like a little kid. Yeah. They pull you into their zone, and that's awesome that you do that and curate stuff for the kids.
We have an entire kids programming section, and we call it the Kids Cove. I think that the really important thing with taking care of kids is stop seeing them like kids. I see them as young festival attendees that we want to take care of. They're not kids attached by leashes to their parents with wallets. That's not how I see them. Man. They are their own unique individuals and attendees. Just because they're young doesn't mean that they shouldn't have an extraordinary experience that they can take back from the Ramble with them as well. They should not be incidental, and they're not. And that's why I think it's a little different at the Ramble. And we do kids program. We do kids sets each day. In fact, we have a kids set on Saturday by Will Evans, who's on our lineup this year. He's doing our Saturday kids set, and our Sunday kids set, I'm really looking forward to. Scrambled Greg is going to do it. Greg Ormont from Pigeons Playing Ping Pong, who's a good buddy, and he's going to bring his Scrambled Greg set to the kids stage for us.
Oh, wow. Man, that would be something else to see. He is so animated. That's the perfect theatrical. Yeah. Wow.
All right, so Brick, let's sell some tickets. What do we do? How do we help?
Head over to ramblefestival.com. Check out the info on the website, and you can get your tickets there. We actually have I'm not sure when this is going to air, guys, but we have a flash sale going on.
2 weeks out.
About 2 weeks. So by the time this airs, we're going to have just got through a flash sale of some tickets and cabins and things. But we have day passes available. By the way, speaking of kids, every kid 12 and under is free.
All right.
We want to really lean into supporting our young Ramblers and making sure it's accessible for families to come out to as well. But yeah, check out the website. That's the best place to get your tickets. We got full weekend tickets available. We have single tickets, single day tickets available. And we just opened up some additional RV passes and car camping passes. If you want to get a group of folks together or camp in your car or your RV, we have a few more of those left too.
Dope. And Instagram is at Ramble Festival.
Yep. Instagram and Facebook are at Ramble Festival. And you can please follow us along there. We put out some great content, and we try to lean into our community and supporting that. The other thing we do is we support a lot of other festivals and events. We have listings of other festivals that our lineup is playing this year on our website. And we push that out via email every couple of weeks to support our lineup and the musicians on our lineup, because I believe all boats rise together.
Yeah, man.
And I like to lean into supporting this community, not just in words, but in actions. Well, and that's just another way we do it.
I'll tell you what, man, if there's anything that we can do to help, you've got my number. It's in the Zoom thing. Mm-hmm. Feel free to text me, hit me up with ideas, anything you need. We got you, man.
Thank you guys so much. Yeah. It really is important to me. It's about keeping this community going. We need to sell some more tickets to make sure that keeps happening. So any support we can get to get the word out is so appreciated. I know, as sure as I'm sitting here, that the people that come out and give the Ramble Festival a shot this year will be coming back next year. That's what we've seen from year 1 to year 2, year 3, year 4. Well, if I have one more person look at me their first day at the Ramble Festival and say, I can't believe it, but this is my forever festival.
You did your work well.
I've done my work well.
Hell yeah.
And that's what we're trying to do. But thank you guys so much for the time.
It felt like we just met a brother from the other coast we haven't seen in a year or so. But
congrats. What are you guys doing in October? You want to jump on a plane and come check out a festival?
We've got my wife's birthday and our grandson's birthday.
And the following week after it, I fly back to Las Vegas, where we're all from originally, for a wedding for my cousin. But we are already looking and talking next year.
We would love
because
the podcast out there, man.
And the
Come on, do it live. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
The time that you do
Fuck
it
yeah.
doesn't compete with all these other festivals and fish tour and all the, things going on. But I want to say, first of all, congratulations on this, and thank you for what you're doing, because what you're doing is so crucial to this community. And also a huge shout out to Emily for facilitating this.
Good job,
and
Em.
every time Em tells us, like, she's like, you need to talk to this artist or this person, it's always a perfect match.
She said,
She's
you
so
have to
good.
talk to Brick. I just met somebody that you have to speak to. I'm like, okay, let's do it.
And it's just, we don't even doubt Emily. It's just like, of course, let's set it
Let's
up.
do it, man.
Yeah, she's great. She's great. The whole Big Hassle team's been really supportive of us, and we love the whole team. Em's been just amazing to come on board, and has introduced me to some extraordinary humans like yourselves as well, which I cannot be more thankful for.
Next year, Brick, let's do it, man.
Yeah,
no bullshit.
Yeah, we got time to plan.
All right, let's stay in touch, man.
Hey, thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your Sunday, and so much love.
We'll talk to you soon, brother.
Thanks,
Take care,
man.
guys.
That's a fucking badass human being, right there.
Yeah. That's not just the beard similar, but that's a brother.
Yeah, man.
Like
seeing somebody that's like full force got the vision like that.
Yeah.
It's not 5 years in, like, oh shit, this is about the community.
No, starting from the very beginning.
Say what you will about all the ills of COVID, pardon the pun. But this is the kind of shit that's really beautiful.
That's what I was going to say. In no way do I ever want to be like, thank you, COVID.
No.
But sometimes it's like, look at what it did.
Yeah, man.
Shutting the world down for the period that they did, rebirthed a lot of stuff. Rebirth and birthed a lot of things, because people had time to, all of us that had that time to pull it in, focus on home, focus on self-care, focus on family. We came back out, changed, metamorphosis of this whole community.
Well, I mean, you get put in a pressure cooker, something's going to happen.
Something's cooking.
Either, and it depends on what's inside of you. And the world is filled with a lot of really awful shit, but it's also filled with a lot of beauty and wonderful people. And you put those wonderful people in a pressure cooker and they're going to level up. And this is what we're seeing. So, hey, everybody out there, if you're able to go to the Ramble Festival, you guys should really go. You heard it. I don't got to say anymore. Go follow them on Instagram, go to the website, go buy tickets.
Yeah, like you said, where the location is, like between Philly, what do you say? Like, I mean, the location, we always get jealous of the East Coast, kind of, because there's so much available to go everywhere and everything. So yeah, go check it out.
And hey, if you go, or when you go this year, you can buy your early bird ticket for next year, and you'll get to see us live. See, there it is.
Boom.
All right, everybody. Until next time, take care of each other. Smile at a stranger. Safety third. Hydrate, and go buy your tickets for the Ramble Festival, man. We love y'all. Peace.
Mechanism as well as a fear. We've traveled this road before, so we may think, but it's a tad bit of strange similarities that feed an A equal A complex. The fears of your past do not equal the perplexities of the current road.
Hi, this is Henry Kay, host of the #1 music history podcast, Rootsland. Come with me on a journey to Kingston, Jamaica, where we explore the world of reggae music and the untold stories of some of the genre's greatest legends. From the ghettos and tenement yards where the music was born, to the island's iconic recording studios. We are so excited to team up with Osiris Media, the leading storyteller in music, because as you'll hear, sometimes the story is the best song.